So I'm just like coming off of the Zenogre fight, right. And I'm like, I came over here and I checked my investigations, right? You know what I mean? I checked them, right? And I saw I had this one, right? And this one looks fun. It's tempered lav, tempered savage, and tempered loser. No love for Anjanath. He's just dumb monster. Go away. So I guess we're gonna run that. You know, we're just gonna talk about random stuff that probably doesn't mean anything, but you know, hopefully one day it will. Whoa, that's wild, dude. What am I gonna use for this? I don't know, dude. Oh my god. I should probably go to bed, huh? Before I like die or something. That'd be crazy. Yeah, I should run. Let's run the ice. The ice. I love the Barioth dual blades. I just love Barioth, you know? He's like my second favorite monster of all time. And you know, as I was saying in the reason why he's my second favorite monster of all time is because, well, for one, he was a cat. Two, well, saber-toothed tiger. Or for two, he was the hardest monster in the game back in Try, which is my first monster there. That's why he was my second. Well, he's my second favorite now, but he's my favorite back in the day before Zenogre. Yeah, I guess we're gonna be fighting like Anjanath first, dude. You know, I feel like I should go after the weakest link first. You know what I mean? He isn't gonna last a second, dude. Nothing he could do. Yeah. So there is a project that I'm working on. Unfortunately, I can't do it. I can do it, but can't. It's gonna take a couple of days or so, because it is pretty ambitious. You know, it's nothing, you know, mind blowing, but it is pretty ambitious for someone like me. Because there's a whole bunch of stuff that I gotta do with it, and it's gonna definitely take some time to put together. That's for sure. But I think. And it may or not be worth the wait. I don't think it will be, but it'll probably still be fun to watch. I mean, whatever. Yeah, let's get the mucus off the city and go find him and kill him. Where are you at? Oh, look, he's over there. He's about to go to Ban World. About to go to Ban World, buddy. Come on, Anjanath, fight me. Oh yeah, completely bodied. Am I using water? I don't know. Water? This is ice. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, dude. You can tell I'm out of mind. You know, I was watching back. Like the run I just did against an ogre like a bit ago, right? And I noticed I said I made a very heinous grammatical error in the video. I was like, oh my god, dude, how could I? I'm literally like the worst individual out there. Like seriously, like I can't say I deserve anything. I deserve nothing but to be criticized all day long. But it's true, dude. It's true. Yeah. But like, what was I saying again? I don't even know. Before, oh yeah. I don't know what to talk about. Oh yeah, I have this problem. I mean, I have a lot of problems with just everything. I have one in particular that's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. It's It's cool to just be yourself at the end of the day. Actually, no. Yeah, you know what? That's gonna be just be yourself. Be yourself, no matter how outlandish, you know, or goofy you may seem. You know, it doesn't matter what you're talking about, what you do. I mean, it kind of does. You know, you don't want to get banned off of anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, just be yourself. That's what's important. Don't worry about whether people think, because truth of the matter is, and I can't believe I'm saying that unironically. Truth of the matter is, why am I sleeping? Look at this. The stupid Godzilla lock. I hate these things so much. The truth of the matter is, they put him to sleep. That's the truth of the matter. About to go to ban world, buddy. Like it's so easy. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's so easy for, you know, for someone. It's so easy for me to say, oh well, just don't worry about what other people think. You know, do your own thing. It's so easy to say that, but it's not as easy as it sounds. No way. And you know, I should know that, because I mean, I was someone who in early 2018, I think, suffered great public humiliation, and I will never forget that. It scarred me for life. But no, it wasn't even. No, it was early, but it was early 2018. No, early 2019, I believe. Yeah, early 2019. I suffered great public humiliation, as well as in the middle of the year, towards the middle of the year, and I will never forget that. You know, it definitely had negative effects on me, but you know, by that point I was already long gone. So you know, it did, but it didn't at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's like, don't be. You should never feel insecure about yourself, or think that you're not, you know, good enough for something, you know, X, Y, and Z. Because the bottom line is, it's like, some things may be embarrassing, some things may be hard to face, but you got to eventually. So you might as well just get them out the way now. I'm gonna die here. I'm not careful. It was last year, as I said. You know, the it was last year. I stalled. I stalled on something because I was afraid. I was afraid that people would judge me, and you know, I went in. You know, I eventually had to face it, but and the entire time I was on the way, I listened to music to help calm my nerves. I listened to music. Even while we were there, I listened to music. You know, to try to help me cope with what I was about to face, and I was like, I was terrified. You know, and it did help a little bit. You know, at the end of the day, you know, it still hurt, but I did it. I faced my ultimate fear. In other words, I like. My point is, right? If you feel insecure about something, or you know, someone, or this thing, that thing. You know, I'm not gonna say talking is gonna make you feel better, but it probably would. It's better to talk about it with someone, or better yet, just, you know, you just gotta deal with it. Just ignore it, because as long as it's not gonna affect you, in your life, that's fine. It really doesn't matter what other people think, you know what I mean? I look liveness. Like, you know, recently, right? Recently, I've been getting into drawing, right? Because you know, I keep seeing these, you know, these posts all over the, you know, I keep seeing these posts all over the place, you know, in various, like, die. You know, all over the webs, and I'm like, you know, you know, man, these are really cool. I wish I could do this right. So whenever it comes to drawing, I was never, oh my god, I was never that good. I think, actually, fun fact, before I drew Akamaru, before I drew Akamaru, which was my first drawing I've done in literally 11 years, I'm not even kidding you. In fact, the last time I picked up a pencil, because, you know, most work online, or most work these days is done online. I think I haven't used a pencil in a very... The last time I used a pencil was when I was having, it was like a period of downtime in my life, like a couple years ago. Not even a couple years ago, but like, yeah, late 2019, or yeah, late 2018, early 2019. There's like this journal that I would write in, and yeah, I wrote down numerous things. I also wrote down some stuff in my notes. I say wrote down or typed up some stuff, you know, in my phone, which I have. I might share those at one point because I have some very interesting stuff in there about my theories and whatnot, and, you know, all this about aliens and, you know, a whole bunch of stuff, right? So I was, you know, I kept seeing these posts. I was like, man, you know, I wish I could draw something like that, but I'll never be able to, man. You know, last time I checked, I'm not very, you know, I'm not very artistic at all. You know, I really don't. Something about it just never really vibed with me. I mean, it kind of did, but like, I would make the simplest like sketches like a kindergartner would make, right? Like that. That was like the extent of my art abilities. And then I was like, I was going through these pictures, and I'd saved one. It was whenever I showed off Akamaru, and I saw the picture. I was like, you know, I think I could draw this. I think I could. And like, it just clicked with me. I was like, okay. I sat down one afternoon. I was like, okay, I can do this. I know I can. The way he looks, his design, everything about him. And don't get me wrong, I did mess up, and I had to, you know, I had to fix some stuff on him, which ultimately made him look better. I think I liked him more than my second drawing. But yeah, like, before I started it, I'm not gonna lie, like, I was sitting on an Akamaru drawing. I was looking at him. I was like, man, you know, I know I can draw this. I know I can. But something inside of me was like, are you sure about that? Last time you picked up a pencil, you know, you could barely draw a 3D box. I was like, yeah. I was like, alright, man, you know what? I'm just gonna. So, what I did was, I immediately went for the eyes. Because that was, you know, the eyes were the simplest part to draw on him. It was literally just two straight lines. So I did that, and I made the eyes, and then, you know, I immediately went for those, because, like, there's a certain technique when it comes to working, because since I have color pencils, I don't have a pencil, like a normal pencil. The entirety of the Akamaru drawing was literally made with the just black color pencil. Because again, and you might be wondering, well, how did you get this silver shading, in there? You just barely apply pressure to the black color pencil, and you'll come out with a lighter color. That is an important thing to that is a very important thing to remember. Colors exist within other colors, and I learned that, and I was like, yeah, I can, like, that's how I knew right away, like, yeah, I can definitely draw this. I could definitely get the shading, because I knew that I had all the tools at my disposal already. I didn't need others, like I didn't need a silver color pencil or gray color pencil. I just used black, and it worked out tremendously well. And that's like one of the most important things that you can understand whenever it comes to art, is like, you can make colors out of other colors. And as I was saying, so I knew that, and that's why I drew the eyes first. I immediately went for the nose. I even went for the shading of the nose, because I knew what I was doing, and I wasn't wrong. And then from there, that's when I drew the head. And then I kind of bounced, and I colored in the ears, and I drew the body and the rest of the body, and then I shaded in the body, and then I added the finishing touches. And actually the little hairs on top of his head, those are actually the last thing I did on the drawing, which I found very interesting, because first of all, the way it was designed, those hairs weren't actually the original hair. The original hairs were actually much longer, but since I really didn't have space on the paper, I had to improvise, and I made them a lot shorter, and somehow they still look natural, which is surprising. That they still look natural, like they still look like they belonged on the character, and they weren't out of place at all. I think that's like my point saying is, like, even though I knew that drawing was gonna be tough and no easy task for someone like me, I still did it anyway, even though I wasn't sure, because I knew I had the tools at my disposal to make it happen. I just didn't know if I had the skill, and maybe I still don't have the skill. That goes for the other drawing that I've done. It goes for the other drawing that I've done. Forgot what I'm trying to say here. I'm not gonna lie, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, that's what to say. I wasn't so sure about it, or I was positive about it. Like, I knew I could draw it, but I wasn't like, oh yeah, I definitely like nail this. Jesus. Because I wasn't sure at all. I knew I had the ability. Like, I saw how it looked. I kind of messed up towards the end, and it looked awkward. So that's why I wouldn't put it above my initial drawing. But actually, I was thinking like I have a Death Note manga that I haven't even read yet, and I've been having it for almost a year now. Um, but I have that. I could use that as a reference and draw like Light or Nier or Ryoko. Um, um, and while I may not be very confident in my ability to draw those characters, I will definitely try because I do think I'm starting to get the basics down. I don't know what this has turned into, by the way. It was me talking about like, oh, you shouldn't be insecure. I think the point that I'm trying to get across is that even though I haven't picked up a pencil in God knows how long previously, you know, prior to me doing so a couple of years ago, is that, you know, keep in mind I wasn't drawing or anything in the little journal that I kept. It was merely just writing stuff down, so it wasn't like, oh, I had a little practice before. No, literally the last thing I've drawn before Akamaru, I kid you not, was like more than a decade ago. And that is wild to me. You know, and I remember I used to see all these other drawings. Like, oh man, when I was in I forgot what grade I was in, second, third. There's this one kid, his his brother was like like he could draw really good. He drew an entire Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He drew an entire Super Saiyan 3 Goku, massive like hair and everything, fully detailed. You know, all of that, and I was like, man, I like, I want to learn how to draw that, even back. Um, could you not go away? Um, but like, you know, I'm one of those people that I'll pick something up, and if I'm not good at it, I want to put it down. That is not the right mindset to have, like, ever. You can't pick something up and expect to be good at it and put it down. Or, yeah, and if you're not good at it, you put it down. That's just not how it works. So, you know, I wasn't good at it, I put it down, and then, you know, here we are many years later, and I'd say I'm way, if I could slap my younger self in the face because, like, if I would have known that I was here now, at this point of like, okay, I understand art, I understand the basics, I understand this and that, I would definitely slap him in the face. Like, man, you could have known this way earlier, and you would have excelled. Because I'd say I am growing at a rapid pace it's because I understand what I'm doing. You know, here's the biggest, here's the biggest, here's the biggest thing for me. The biggest thing that you can do is don't just see something and try to draw it, and I died. Don't see something and try to draw it, okay? Don't look at a picture and be like, yeah, let me just make this line here, make this line there. No, that's not how it works. You need to know if you're comfortable doing it first. Like, for one, I can't tell you, like, I can tell you with certainty, that, this is many, like, I'm dead. whatever. Because we're closing on 30-minute mark. I'm gonna stop here and then I'm gonna pick up. So, saying I can say with certainty that any good artist you see has had as many horrible creations as they have had good ones, if not more than they have had good ones. It's just that's just how it is, you know. Not everything can draw everything ever. And anyone that says so is straight up a lie. That's just simply not how it works. Much like art is very, it's easy to pick up with certain people. While those people may pick it up very easily, they can't draw everything out of the gate immediately. So try to draw something that you'll feel comfortable with, that you'll know like it suits you. You understand all the angles. Again, understand what you're drawing before you try to draw it, because if you go in there and you're not really sure about it, or if you're not really feeling it, then you're not gonna succeed in it. Notice how I've only produced 2 drawings. That's because those are the only 2 images so far that I felt comfortable knowing that I could draw. And again, I want to say that's like a lack of confidence, but at the same time it's not. At the same time, this is how it is. I feel like I'm completely missing the point here. I don't know, I'm doing a lot of damage though, so that's the thing. Like, my point is, if you see an image that you like and, you feel like you can draw it, you gotta learn to feel it and you gotta learn to understand it before you actually try to draw it. That's what I'm saying. Otherwise, just not. You're not gonna do anything with it. Of course, now, that's whenever you're beginning. Obviously, once you get better, you'll be able to, look at more images and go, yeah, I can draw this, more comfortable. But no one has ever started out. No one has ever started out like that. Started drawing like the Mona Lisa and oh, that was perfect. No one ever started drawing the Mona Lisa and like age 3. No. Like straight off the gate, and it doesn't work like that. I don't know. I feel like I've rambled too much throughout this quest, and I guess this is sort of like my my podcast, but not really. I feel like the important message here was me saying that even if you feel insecure about something, or you feel like you can't do something, that doesn't mean you can't do what other people do. Or, well, okay. You don't see yourself doing what other people do, but you can do something like it to an extent. Again, you just gotta learn, you just gotta know where to start it, At least, whenever it comes to like arts and stuff like that, no one in their right mind is gonna look at my Monster Hunter gameplay and be like, oh, I can easily replicate that. But even if they're good at games, like other games, but they never touched Monster Hunter before, they're gonna look at my gameplay and be like, oh yeah, I can do really well at that. No, because they don't understand the basics. They can put the controller in their hand just fine, but they won't know how to maneuver. They won't know what they're doing. They won't know how to attack. They won't know how to do this. They won't understand the basics. And then, you know, once you understand the basics, that's when we can, you know, go into something a bit more, um, a bit more, what's the word? Advanced. Um, um, the, so, like, as I was saying, all of what I'm talking about, though, is like, you know, subjective. God, like, it's like, no one in their right mind has never played Monster Hunter be like, yeah, I could probably do that too. No, you couldn't. Okay. Of course, that's just like, you know, subjective based on what the topic is, you know, if you're... Is that a crook? Hey, crook. If you're insecure about your appearance or something like that, again, you know, I just I don't see room as to why you should be. Because at the end of the day, you know, the only thing that matters, the only thing that matters is what you think. You know, as long as you make success or, you know, whatever out of your life, that's all that matters. You know, everyone else can just, you know, at least that's how I see it, you know. It's like, of course I look after people that I know, or try to anyway, but like, you know, I'm just saying. I feel like it's horrible advice, how dare I? So we're fighting Gladness. I like Gladness. um, he's dead. Okay, there you go. He was that close, huh? Like I've rambled the entire time, and I've literally talked for roughly almost 35 minutes now, and I've talked for 35 minutes and I've literally said nothing. Except for maybe one thing, and that's a-okay. That is a-okay. Now, one thing I will say, one final point I want to make about art. It's important to understand your shapes over your lines. Understand that. Don't settle for lines, settle for shapes. Unless, you know, an actual, like, line calls for it, like, you know, for drawing, like, an eye or something. Or, like, the character has their eyes closed again, like Akamaru. Then that's fine, because it's just a straight line, but... You know what I'm saying. What was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. Literally didn't get anything. Nah. 31 minutes. Oof. Oh, power prolonger evade window. That's pretty nice. Weird plugs and divine blessing. Very nice. I guess to recap. You shouldn't feel insecure about anything, because at the end of the day, none of it really matters. What matters is just what you do with your life. You know what I mean? And, you know, if you say, well, you're not really in a position to do anything with your life, well, I think you could. I think there's many ways that you can improve yourself daily, whether it be mentally, physically, you know, academically, so on and so forth. Yeah, that was that. How exciting. That was a fun quest, I guess. That was one of those investigations or quests that you literally just throw on in the background and ramble, and that's exactly what I did. And I'm okay with that. That was fun.